He got us again. He got us again. He got us again. The tribal chief has returned. Roman Reigns is back. Seth Rollins has hit this realization. He must beat Cody Rhodes. Io picks Rhea over the Kabuki Warriors and so much more. This is Raw Recap, a WWE and Fanatics original production. Fingers in the air.
Put them up, baby. Put
Wave
them up.
them as if you don't care at all. He's back. Roman Reigns. My tribal chief, our tribal chief. Look at the shirt. I brought my shirt. Your tribal chief.
The only tribal chief.
Roman Reigns is back. The OTC returns on Monday Night Raw. I mean, it's always those moments. And now it's a Roman thing. That's it as of this year. That's the Roman thing, that when you least expect it, the music just drops. The music, and how dare, by the way, and I'm sure this came from the Paul Heyman playbook. And I would say this to his face, as long as Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed were not in the room. How dare Paul Heyman think that he can strategize any of his Paul Heyman guys besides the tribal chief Roman Reigns to stack them? To stack them. It is sacrilege. That is key. Tribal chief. That is bloodline Roman Reigns to a T. His first WrestleMania as the tribal chief. His first bloodline WrestleMania. He won a triple threat match by stacking up his opponents. Paul Heyman thought history was going to repeat itself when the Brahms stacked up the Usos on top of each other. But then, once again, as it's happened multiple times this year, the music drops. And when the music drops, everything changes. And you're sitting there, and you're looking at that entryway, and it says Roman Reigns on top, and it's all blue, and that orchestral arrangement is playing, and you're waiting. Are we going to see him? Is he going to show? Could it be? Should I be this happy? And the answer is yes. Because finally, Roman Reigns, he makes us wait, but then he appears in all of his glory with a steel chair in hand, and he goes to the ring to extract revenge upon the people who foolishly took him out at Clash in Paris, the Brahms.
The entire crowd in Raleigh, North Carolina just gasped. Not at the sound of the music, but at the sight of the tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
Not just the crowd in Raleigh. Also some of the residents in Stamford, Connecticut.
Oh, are you a resident now?
While I'm here. Yeah. Well, I have a not same location here. So yes, I am technically a resident. Roman Reigns shows up. I gasped. I was on my feet. My one was in the air.
No matter what, the reaction just delivers.
Whoa!
Bum, bum, bum. Every single time. And I have to say, wasn't even on my radar heading into tonight's Monday Night Raw.
No?
No,
Oh, I was on Sirius this morning, and I didn't want to
know.
say it. I didn't want to say it, or this afternoon, I guess. I didn't want to say it.
Now, did you not want to say it because you didn't want to let the people down, or you didn't want to let yourself down?
Myself. I would have only cared about myself. Yeah, I didn't want to say it. Sometimes I get these ideas, these fantastical ideas. But, I always say don't water a plant that you don't want to grow. Okay? I worry sometimes.
You do always say that.
I always. Yeah,
I spend a lot of time with you, and you say that a lot.
It must just be ringing your ears off. Stop saying it already. But that's a good point. But I didn't want to put it out there because if I'm wrong, I would be so disappointed. But I sat there. I said, that tribal chief's face is on the poster for Crown Jewel.
And we don't have much time left.
We don't have much time left. And
no DQs in a tornado tag team match.
plus, I was looking on that Andrew Schultz Instagram, and he said this. Had a great time shooting the movie Street Fighter. Keyword.
Had.
I said, had. Had. You mean to tell me it's over? You mean to tell me that my people are free once more? And here comes Roman Reigns. As soon as he decides the time has been appropriate, and he came out on a mission. It's one thing when Roman just comes back, right? Because we have seen that at PLEs when he'll come back and just let the world know. Maybe it'll be a stare down. Maybe it's just to let everybody know I'm back. But then there's other times, like when he returned earlier this year at Madison Square Garden post Royal Rumble. And he did it because he was on a mission. because Seth Rollins wronged him at the Royal Rumble and he came back for revenge. Tonight was exactly the same. 4 weeks ago at Clash in Paris, those two criminals, they took out the tribal chief, and he came back a man on a mission. Jess, I mean, beating Bronson Reed all the way out ringside over the guardrail to the point where Bronson Reed disappeared. Nobody ever saw him again. And then Braun Breaker, you could feel it, the motivation inside Roman Reigns to like put it down. And this was after the match, right? He beat down Braun Breaker.
I mean, Roman got taken out on a stretcher.
Right. And
then got hit with a tsunami while on said stretcher.
He was strapped to the board. He got tsunami'd. And Roman is like, I believe they've only begun to feel the pain that the tribal chief, because you don't do the tribal chief like that.
You can't.
And I think that Roman is, if he's coming back now, because we've seen Roman Reigns really this whole year. And you could argue, really since he lost the title at WrestleMania 40 in bursts, right? We've only seen him incrementally. You'll see him for a couple of months, then he's gone again. He'll pop back up, and then he's gone again. You know what I mean? And I think when that happens, the WWE world, that clock continues to spin. And people forget the power, the influence, the person, the superstar, the aura that is Roman Reigns. And the fact that, like, he lost the title to Cody Rhodes, but beyond that, nothing's changed.
I will say this about Roman. It doesn't take him very long to remind the audience.
That's right. The minute he's back, it's like, uh-oh. But I think with Roman, it's one of those like, well, my folks aren't home, so like we can throw the biggest party ever. And then you don't like they're coming home tomorrow morning. You're gonna have to pay for all of this. The receipts. They're all getting they're all here. And I think that that's what it is with Roman Reigns, that while he's gone, everybody thinks they have a run of the place, especially since he's not the champion. But then he comes back and he reminds everybody, and it doesn't take much. You're 100% right. But he reminds everybody it's still his yard.
It was very, very interesting to see Roman and Jey Uso interact after the beatdown, because we had Jimmy Uso on the podcast last week, and we were talking to Jimmy about how he's told Jey, you're starting to sound a lot like Roman. And there was this embrace between Roman and Jey. And Jimmy was standing behind, looking very confused and taken aback by the entire interaction.
I don't know if it was confusion that I read on it. I think there was it was definitely a moment of pause. I don't think there was much. I don't see what there would have been to be confused about, to tell you the truth. I mean, Jimmy has kind of been pretty clear about Jey has been pretty clear about where he's been at. I think Jimmy maybe was realizing, oh, like this is what this looks like. And I'm glad, by the way, that I was on the record last week when we had Jimmy on the pod. And I said, like, you might be right that he's acting like Roman Reigns, but is that a bad thing? When you want to be the man, it'd be like going to a quarterback in the NFL and going like, you're acting like Tom Brady. It's like, yeah, that's the job. That's what I should be acting like. Everybody should be acting like Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but there was a moment backstage before Roman Reigns' return, before the Tornado Tag Team match, before the bell ring, before any of this, where Jey said to his brother Jimmy, I should be the world heavyweight champion, but that's something that you wouldn't know anything about.
Well, but he said it in a moment of frustration.
And then he immediately dapped him up, and
I think
it seemed like they made up, but saying that hits deep.
It is. It does.
Jey knows it.
And The Miz made a good point to me for the first time
ever. The Miz made a good point. For
I've never known him. Yes, I've never known him to make anywhere near even decent point. But he actually made a good point when he said that brothers do at times have that shorthand, where maybe they do cut deeper. Like if I said it to you, you'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
But if we were siblings and it's like that's how we communicate, maybe it's different. I mean, it didn't look terribly welcome on Jimmy's face. I think that's a very optimistic way of looking at it. But listen, I too, and I like to I like to psychoanalyze, as you know.
You?
I do. But I was thinking about this. Jay has, for so long,
A lot of trauma.
a lot of trauma. You know, I pay attention to that, and I think it should be acknowledged. Also, though, but that's right, one's up to acknowledge that too. But also, I think that Jay spent years in the position of being told what to do, spent years in the position of being advised, spent years in the position of being a soldier. This is how you need to act. This is what you need to do. And now I think to an extent, when you prove yourself and you make it on your own and you become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and then once you lose that title, your brother is still telling you what to do, you almost go like, whoa, I know I don't have the belt around my waist right now, but you need to recognize that things have changed. You need to recognize that maybe it's me that should be advising you. And for Big Brother Jim, that's probably a tough pill to swallow because that hasn't been the case ever. I mean, from the beginning of the bloodline, I'm sure when they were growing up, it's Big Brother Jim. But when the little brother, he's not wrong. How much experience does Jimmy Uso have as World Heavyweight Champion?
He doesn't.
0 days. Jay has this experience, and we've talked to champions on the show before, and they talk about how real it is, and they talk about the responsibility that goes with it, and they talk about not only the pressures in the ring, but what else goes with it. And every time you hear a champion speak on it, except Gunther, because he doesn't do any of the other stuff, but everyone else, they all talk about how, like, you think you know what it is until you're in it. Mm-hmm. And I think that I can kind of understand where Jay's frustration is coming from. And listen, maybe Jimmy, maybe that is confusion on his face a little bit because he doesn't fully grasp what's happening, because he doesn't realize that, look, like, Roman's giving advice to Jay in a way that he wouldn't give to Jimmy, maybe. Because before, Roman gave orders to Jay and to Jimmy. However, now Roman acknowledges one of his cousins as a world heavyweight champion. So now he speaks to him as a world heavyweight champion. He advises him from the perspective of someone who's been there, and now they have that commonality, which Jimmy doesn't have.
It is interesting to think about, Jimmy's perspective, though, because to me, it doesn't seem like jealousy.
No.
To me, it doesn't necessarily seem like anger, 100%.
Disappointment, maybe.
Disappointment, maybe a tad of bitterness.
You think bitter? I don't think bitter. I think there's an apprehension to it. I think Jimmy doesn't want to go back to the bloodline.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jay is.
But Jimmy even recognized right here on the show that the bloodline wasn't bad. The bloodline was probably the best thing that ever happened to him.
But then there was bad on the other side of it.
That's right.
But what if, like, when the bloodline was going, Roman was the champion. He went to Paul Heyman for advice, the wise man. And that was a situation that Jay could not relate to, and Jimmy couldn't either. Well, now that Jay is in a world at the world title level, Roman is almost a wise man to him.
It's a good point.
And Jimmy is out.
Yeah.
And does Jimmy want to fall in line and be a soldier again? If you're looking at this thing happen and you're looking at this thing evolve again, and you go, wait, I've advanced since then, but not the way Jay has. Do I want to fall in line with this again? Is this the healthiest thing for me? Is this the healthiest thing for the family? And I think that that's all over Jimmy's face. I think the concern on Jimmy's face at the end of the show, because once, like, he got into it, it's like, okay, like, he's not ready to, like, call 911. He's not ready to call it an emergency. He's like, Jimmy's cool.
No, he didn't seem like he was fuming with anger.
I don't think he's angry because it's natural.
Yeah.
But I think he's just got this awareness of, like,
it's like that.
Something could be happening here, and I need to watch this. And sometimes when you're with your family, it's like you can't control your family. But when you see stuff start to happen that you think is going down a bad road, you just watch it. And I think that that's where Jimmy is right now. But I think it's more difficult to watch now than ever, because it's one thing when it's just him and his brother, and he's got his brother's ear and says, like, hey, you're acting this way. Except when Big Oos is back.
How do you act then?
Well, you don't have your brother's ear anymore.
Yeah.
His brother and Big Oos are going to go and do their thing over here.
And we talk about Jimmy's perspective and where he fits into all of this, but I also can't help but wonder Paul Heyman's reaction and where Paul Heyman fits after all of it. I mean, we know where he fits. He's with the Vision, but you saw the look on his face when Roman Reigns' music hit.
Horrified.
Of course,
Horrified.
he should be.
Well, he's realizing that this is a dragon that maybe he cannot slay.
And this is also someone that Paul Heyman has admitted that he still loves and he still misses.
He has admitted that at times when it's benefited him. I don't know if that means it's true. Right. I think that there's one person that Paul Heyman loves. There's one person that Paul Heyman is loyal to.
It's himself.
Right. It's not me. It's him.
No.
It's himself. When you watch a big game, you know what team Paul Heyman's rooting for?
The winning team.
That's right.
The winning team.
That's 100% right.
Because he's a survivor.
That's 100% right. However, he doesn't play every hand perfectly. And this seems like one, especially if he's going back to the Roman Reigns strategy book with the stacking, and here comes Roman Reigns. And at the same time, we had this conversation a long time ago when the Vision first formed about, because people said, because they were so used to Paul Heyman and the bloodline, Paul Heyman's group, Paul Heyman's group, Paul Heyman's group. But I think the more we talked about it, the more we were like, this is Seth Rollins' group. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is not, Paul Heyman doesn't have the kind of control. He has the control over maybe the Brawns, because they're a little bit younger.
Not have the control over Seth and Becky.
Becky's not even in the Vision.
Is she?
Only through marriage. Like, she'll be there for the, holiday party. But she's not Vision.
Are we sure?
Yeah, she's never been there with the Vision.
Well, she's never entered with the Vision. Well, she actually has.
That one time, it was a big, well, yeah.
Did.
Yeah, but no, Becky's not Vision. That has never been said.
It's never not been said.
I mean, sure. Is Akira Tozawa in the Vision?
Not after tonight.
No, that's true. That's true. Only one. You're right. Akira Tozawa got punched in the throat by Becky Lynch. But who wasn't at ringside tonight in the main event?
Seth Rollins.
Right. Seth having that moment of clarity, and it's really interesting because as much as Seth says that everything goes through him, I mean, it doesn't feel like, and it has felt this way. You bring up Becky. It's felt this way kind of since Clash in Paris, when Seth and Becky kind of got together and started on screen working on the same goal, which is unbelievable. The Vision is almost this separate thing on the side. You know what I mean? It's almost like when a boss of a company hires the right people so he doesn't have to show up to work.
Are you saying that Paul Heyman's middle management?
Upper middle.
Upper middle management.
Upper middle
Good for Paul.
Yeah, upper middle management for sure. For sure. Upper middle for sure. But you know what I'm saying? Like
it does feel that way.
That's taken care of over there. And Seth, right before that match, saying, I have to beat Cody. And not in a, first of all, it's like, bro, we're not even talking about that right now. We have a match with the Usos that we're talking about. We already did the Cody thing. Nobody's talking about Cody right now. And
That's
Seth's
over.
like,
we're on to,
yeah, we're doing this right now. And Seth's like,
Vision business.
Yeah. We're doing the other Vision stuff. We got the Usos. And Seth's like, I have to beat Cody. And Paul's like trying to do his old Paul Heyman tricks going, you will, of course you will beat Cody. And he's like, no, I have to beat Cody. And he's almost having this moment of like, and he's right. It is now or never.
Well, and he's realizing, how tense this is. And I loved how Seth pointed out, Cody, you're 3-0 against me. But none of that really matters to me because that was before we both became who we are. Before Cody became the quarterback, as he calls himself, before Cody became a world champion, before Seth became the world heavyweight champion and the leader of the Vision and the person who considers himself the future of the industry. They hadn't arrived to the point where they are now. But I don't think they arrived to the point they're at now without what we saw.
Yeah. I don't think they were that different then. I think they were kind of already there as the minute Cody walked back into that stadium.
In Dallas?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
I was like, this is the direction he's going. And Seth, it was like, if he wasn't in that match, but he was in the main event that year. That's right. That's 100% right.
Like, oh, he was a different person, but he was still right there.
Right. I think for Seth, that it truly doesn't matter. The 3-0, the past, I don't think any of it matters. I think to him, what matters is being the quarterback. That's what it's all about. And it's really interesting because in a lot of these like WWE champion versus world heavyweight champion matches, it's just like it almost, for lack of a better term, is exhibition-like in the sense that you're just like, wow, this is going to be great. We get to see the two very best go at it.
No one's losing a title.
Right. One is gaining that ring. And that person can go forward and say, hey, I've beaten the very best. I'm the crown jewel champion, and if you hold on to that title for a full year, maybe you'll get another stab at it next year. But on this night, I was the better man or woman. But in this case, I don't even think Cody and Seth are thinking about the ring at all. I don't think they're thinking about title versus title at all.
They're thinking about 10, 20 years from now. And what the industry is going to look like and who's going to be leading it.
Yes. And when Cody says, we don't have any control, it's all the fans. I go, yeah. But I think that Cody, you'd like to be in that QB1 spot.
Of course.
And Seth wants to be in the QB1 spot too. And that's been a discussion amongst fans since the World Heavyweight Championship was introduced. This idea of a number one and a number two, this idea of the guy.
The face of the company.
The face of the company.
What does that look like?
Right.
Who's doing it right?
That's right.
What is right?
That's 100%. And you have one person who's saying, I am the vision for where the industry is going. And the other person saying, I'm the quarterback and nobody can do this job like I can. And you've now got two athletes at their prime that have knowingly or unknowingly backed themselves into a corner where it's the Highlander. There can be only one. And now, as fate would have it, we arrive on this match where it's like, and Seth is right. Cody, if he loses, Cody has a way of fighting back, right? And if he loses, it's going to be tough for him to say he's the quarterback if he loses this match. But I do think that maybe he can earn that back. For Seth Rollins, if he's saying, I am the vision, I am the future, come with me, I will lead you, and he does not win, and he's 0-4 against Cody Rhodes, how do you show up to Monday Night Raw after Crown Jewel and still have people believe that you are the future?
I think it's important for not just Seth. I think it's important for the vision as a whole.
Right.
Because Seth even brought that up during his exchange with Cody. I've taken Bronson Reed. I've taken Braun Breaker under my wing because they also represent the future of the industry as well.
Right. So does Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed continue their faith in Seth if he can't beat Cody? At the same time, Cody prides himself on being number one. You know what I mean? I mean, Cody is there for the people, and Cody wants to give the people what they want. But ultimately, Cody's been obsessed with being the guy since WrestleMania 38.
And still feels like even though he became the guy, he never really was the guy because Roman Reigns is in this era as well.
And so is Seth Rollins. And it's almost probably insulting.
And so is CM Punk.
And so is CM Punk. And so, so is Jey Uso. So there's
McIntyre.
Right.
I mean, we could go on and on.
Right. There's a lot of competition for it. But at the moment, it's hard to argue that your two men's champions are not 1 and 2 in the men's division. So the question is, who's 1 and who's 2? And I don't think, I think it's for a situation like this in a crown jewel match, it's unique to arrive in a scenario where it's so important to determine. Like, it's so important to both people. And both of these people have such a rich history.
And Seth firmly believes that he's the reason the business has arrived in the place that it has arrived. You look at CM Punk. He left for 10 years. Cody had to leave and come back. Seth really believes that him riding the ship is what helped elevate the industry to the place it is in today.
Yes. And I believe that he believes that for real.
Yeah.
And I believe that he contributed to that. But I don't know that the industry is in the shape that it's in. I don't know if the WWE is the company that it's in right now if Cody Rhodes doesn't return at WrestleMania 38. People have asked me, and I think I'm shilling hard for Cody, but this is truly how I feel. They said, when did this era begin? This era that has become, I mean, without argument, the biggest era in terms of exposure, in terms of media, in terms of everything. When did this era start? And to me, it started when Kingdom played at WrestleMania 38. That's when everything changed. Because when Cody Rhodes walked out at WrestleMania 38 and the American Nightmare logo showed up on television, it's official. Absolutely anything can happen. Everything you thought that this was, throw it out the window. And it's like, yeah, you can't have that moment unless somebody was there putting the company on their back and bringing it to this point. But now you've got somebody that I feel brought it up even higher.
But then at WrestleMania 40, when Cody has the moment where he arrives, he gets there because Seth was his shield.
And who did I say was the MVP?
Seth Rollins.
And who did Cody say was the MVP?
Seth Rollins.
And who was wearing their WrestleMania 40 Rolex only for the second time in their life today?
And was staring at it and couldn't take his eyes off of it.
Do you think that's because he's used to a digital clock? He's just trying to tell what time it was?
I think it's probably one of those moments, like he has this watch that clearly means a lot to him, whether that's good or bad or a mixture of both.
Just
it's a
feelings.
Sentimental watch.
Yeah, oh
right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
He's only ever worn it twice. And now to have that watch on your wrist, to look down and take in the meaning of that watch, it's probably pretty powerful.
It's got to be. It's got to be. Well, look, I mean, if you want gear that is powerful, that you can look at, that you can gaze upon, well, fall is here. It's very exciting. It's hoodie weather. I love hoodie weather, and that means you got to get some new hoodies. You got to get WWE hoodies. You got to get WWE hoodies. You got to get the jackets. You got to get them quarter zips. Those quarter zips, because it's a classy look, a quarter zip. But you got WWE quarter zips. Blankets on a cozy evening and more. Only at WWE Shop and Fanatics. Stay warm and show your WWE pride this season. And speaking of this season, we're in the postseason. You know, the MLB postseason.
Go Met. Oh.
Why would you say it? You know Michael Cole listens.
Sorry, Cole.
Listen, they're mad in the control room.
They're
You got
very
so
upset.
many people upset.
Listen,
Why would you bring
hater.
up the Mets?
Because I'm a suffering White Sox fan.
They're cheering in there. Some of them are cheering in there. But why would you put that negativity on somebody? You're a suffering White Sox fan, so you're making them feel your pain.
That's right. We go down together.
Hey, well, I mean, they really did spend a lot of money on that team. Listen.
They did. It's a lot of money.
It's the postseason, and you can celebrate your team's postseason run with authentic MLB legacy titles available now at WWE Shop and Fanatics. And yes, I'm sure you can get a Mets one as well. However, Mets aside, I mean, this Seth Cody thing, do you think when Seth said, we were never friends, I was never your friend, you were the lesser of two evils, and we will never stand together? Do you think Seth was telling the truth?
No.
You don't.
No.
So you think when Seth saved Cody, it was because he wanted Cody to be the champion? Do you think it was because he thought Cody was the right man for the job?
Yeah, at the time, yes, because Seth couldn't be the man for the job.
I believed even back then, well, I believe in the Shield, but I believed even back then that it was never about Cody. It was only about not Roman.
Anything but Roman.
Anything but
I mean, you
Roman.
go back to that time, right? And like Seth's road to WrestleMania that year is nuts. I mean, we were also focused on Cody's road to WrestleMania because the twists and the turns. And
Mama Rose.
exactly. We were also focused on Cody's road to WrestleMania, but Seth's road was nuts. I mean, he had an injury that we all thought there's no way he's going to wrestle at WrestleMania.
Right. And he wrestled twice.
Twice.
And jumped to the main event as well.
Twice. I mean,
Yeah.
Seth had an unbelievable WrestleMania 41, but because of his physical state, because of the knee, because of what he was dealing with, he couldn't go on to be the champion, and Cody had to be the guy.
You mean 40?
Yeah.
He also had an
40.
unbelievable 41.
41, yes.
He's an unbelievable WrestleMania guy, this Seth Rollins. So we'll see. Listen, I want to talk about Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, the Kabuki Warriors, but I want to welcome in a guest to help us do that. Let's do it. You know him. You love him. One of the great analysts that has ever existed and a former WWE world champion himself. Big E is here. What's going on, E?
Not too much. Very flowery introduction from you. Thank you for starting things off on a good foot today, Sam. I appreciate that.
As opposed to what?
It can be a little rocky with you sometimes.
We'll
a little
get
rocky.
there. We'll get there.
Yes. I'm sure we will, Megan. I'm sure we will.
We haven't gotten to the Intercontinental Championship match yet.
Ooh.
But big things. We start Monday Night Raw. A lot of drama that leads us to a crown jewel match. We start Monday Night Raw with Rhea Ripley out for blood, looking for the Kabuki Warriors. Here comes Io Sky. Io Sky having a very difficult time. She considers Kairi and Asuka her family, Asuka being her mentor, these being the people that brought her in here and made this all happen. But she ends up saving Rhea Ripley. She ends up getting misted. And then as the night progresses, for whatever reason, they would not let this poor woman shower. She had that mist on her for hours. Hours. She had that mist on her. But
I think it was the third backstage segment. I looked at you, Sam, and I was like, she's still covered in mist.
it's been 2 hours. Nobody will help her out.
Well, the mist is unsettling. Obviously, like seeing Rhea, it looked like a 10-gallon bucket of paint got dumped on her last week. The amount of mist, and it kept spreading. I swear it kept spreading throughout the night. It got worse and worse. Clearly, yes, poor Io was infected with this venom. Look, this is the most compelling story we have in WWE right now. This is the one that I'm riveted to. This is the one that I'm paying attention to. We're talking about a lot of history with these women. I think Asuka doesn't get enough credit for opening the door to all these incredible performers from Japan, showing that, hey, there can be a home here for you in WWE. I'm not sure we get Io Sky without Asuka. I'm not sure that we get Kairi without Asuka. And look, to see how long we've had Asuka under the WWE umbrella, to know she had an amazing career as Kana before she got to WWE, and now to see she still got it. To see her in a singles match last week, and she is still an incredible performer. She hasn't lost a step, it seems. I'm really, really excited for this tag team match. Also, can I say the centipede makeup that was one of the coolest things I have ever seen. Asuka's on another level right now, and it seems like in many ways, I feel like she's been, the last couple years, I know she's dealt with some injuries as well. She's almost been on the back burner, and I think we forget how terrifying, one, this woman is, but how incredible she is. I have to say, I'm really, really looking forward to this match in Perth at Crown Jewel. There's so much meat here. Obviously, Rhea headed back to her home country. She's going to get just an incredible reception as well. But seeing all four of these women really step up in so many different ways, I feel like I have to stifle a laugh every time I see Kairi on screen as well. Whether she's doing the fisticuffs, she is a gem as well in the background. There's so many elements of this story, and just the very real elements, I think, that are in play for Io, because, you know, there's really obviously a real kinship with Asuka, with Kairi, what they've been through as a family, and you see her just kind of being torn apart here. So I'm really intrigued to see how this match will play out in Perth.
I love this so much because, you know, you think about the Women's World Championship and heading into Perth, you see Perth on the calendar, and I think we were all thinking, oh, Rhea Ripley has to be in a world championship match in Australia. It's Rhea Ripley, it's Australia, it's a women's world championship. That has to happen. But then Stephanie Vaquer wins the title. We now know it's Stephanie against Tiffany Stratton. And we're all kind of thinking, who are Rhea Ripley and Io Sky without the women's world championship? And now we're launched into this story with Asuka and Kairi and the relationship between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, remembering that Rhea has never pinned Io Sky. And now we're going to see these two on the same side, but also keeping in mind everything that Asuka did, not only in NXT, but, on the main roster as well, bringing Kairi along, bringing Io along, and not just in the ring what Asuka's been doing, but she is so entertaining as a character as well. I mean, from yelling at Kairi.
What did she do?
Kairi! To her manipulation tactics. I mean, I love everything I see from Asuka. Anytime she's on the screen, I'm totally glued to it.
That is crazy though. When you're like, you can apologize, and it's like, if you don't apologize in 30 seconds, I'm giving you 30 seconds to apologize, and if I don't hear it, I'm literally spraying poison mist into your eyes. Like that's a disgruntled family.
Well, and then after she sprays the mist, Kairi goes and finds Io backstage and is like, "We can still be a family. All you have to do is apologize now."
Yeah, what
Io can barely see. She's like, "Apologize now." What?
E, can you explain this to me? I feel like now more than ever, and as we know, I feel like this is getting thematic, that I do tend to psychoanalyze a lot that goes on in the world of pro wrestling. But like, when did this level of codependence really hit pro wrestling? Because I feel like whether it's the bloodline, whether it's the vision, whether it's this Asuka's reign over Io and Kairi, like there is this codependence that I don't remember being there growing up with pro wrestling.
Look, we're a very emotional generation, clearly. We go to therapy. Obviously, you're getting therapy chants now. A lot of those, I think, emotions that were buried deep within us, they're now on the surface. And look, I also think, you're seeing a lot of this from older performers, people who are a little bit more seasoned in life as well. Your perspective tends to open up. You think about the world around you. You think about the people that you spent years and years on the road. Look, it can definitely be a cliche when we talk about family on the road. But look, man, we spend so much time together. You sweat together, you bleed together, you dream together, you travel the world together. Like it's kind of silly to think that real emotions wouldn't form. With just all the amount of time you spend together. So I think we're getting to see our very emo generation of pro wrestlers display all of that on screen. It doesn't have to be tucked in a corner anymore. We don't have to bury our feelings. It's all out there for people to see now.
That's a great point.
I mean, speaking of emotional, did you guys see the video that Io Sky posted on Instagram last week of her just breaking? I know. I mean, she was so torn up about what had happened with Asuka. It was.
But I mean, E, I think you're right to point it out. When you look at the graphic, when you look at Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors, I think it's been far too long since everybody looked at Asuka as a credible threat for a women's world championship. I think it's been even further too long since people looked at Kairi Sane as a credible threat for a women's world championship. And then you look at Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, who spent the first quarter of this year battling for the women's world championship. You've got this scenario where you've got four of literally the best women's wrestlers, not in the world, that have ever been in the world, and four women's wrestlers that are invested in tearing opponents limb from limb. And it's just in front of our faces, while we're all lost in the emotional story behind everything, what we've got is four absolute warriors going to Perth to tear each other to shreds.
Is there any part of you too, though, if you are Rhea Ripley, that doesn't trust Io Sky?
She said she didn't.
I mean, can you blame her? One, how do you ever let go of the fact that this woman has beaten you time and time again? Also, you could argue this is supposed to be Rhea's big homecoming. Like, so many of us thought, like, hey, this is the time she's going to have a huge title match, main event. This should be her moment. And now you start to wonder, is she feeling a certain way because she has to share the spotlight in Australia? You know, we're there maybe once, maybe twice a year, but typically for a show of this caliber, it's about once a year. And to have to share that spotlight with someone else, someone who has had the WrestleMania main events as champion, and obviously Rhea has as well, but Io Star, as of late in 2025, if we're just isolating this year and we're just looking at in-ring, Io, I think, has kind of left Rhea in the dust, and that's only based on results. I think Rhea is still arguably our greatest performer. Rhea and Io are neck and neck as far as ability, but when we're simply looking at titles, when we're looking at main events, when we're looking at wins, when we're looking at results, it's been the year of Io Sky. So I don't think you could really blame Rhea. And in many ways, this is it. She's the fourth wheel on a three-wheel car. You know what I mean? She is the extra wheel, because this story truly is. It's about the family. It's about the long time friendship between the Kabuki Warriors and Io. And in many ways, Rhea is a bit of an outsider who's being inserted here. So for Rhea to have feelings or animosity or angst, I can't say I blame her.
Yeah, but you know what? To me, the tag team makes perfect sense. If you can't beat them, join them. If somebody beats me every time I step up at a point, it's like, you know what? I'm not going to do that whole definition of insanity and keep trying the same thing and expect different results. Instead, what if I just got this person on my team? That's why I asked Megan to be my co-host on this show, because every time we stepped up, I was like, she's much better than me. But if I could just get her on the show, now it's like, oh, you guys have a good show. You know what I mean?
You're stealing her aura.
That's right. That's right.
And making it your own.
100%
I
right.
can respect that.
100% right. I get
very much in your character.
Every time those Instagram stories come back, they go, "We love you, Megan." I go, "Look, Megan, they love us. They love."
We're a unit. It's not us. Yeah, exactly.
I've got to tell you, I'm very, very excited because Topps Finest WWE is back. You know all about Topps WWE Finest. It's a set of high energy tribute it's a high energy tribute to sports entertainment built for collectors who crave vibrant designs, premium tech, and chase-worthy pulls. Every box delivers a thrilling mix of content. I'm talking 2 autographs, a full spectrum of base and parallel cards, rare refractors, and inserts that highlight the biggest names and moments in WWE today. The 300-card base set is a collector's challenge, packed with common, uncommon, and rare tiers, each available across a rainbow of parallels. Plus, each case guarantees one major case hit, dark energy, double exposure, or
Ula Fala.
Ula Fala. Whether you're chasing your favorite superstar, prospecting new talent, or going for the full rainbow, 2025 Finest WWE brings the action. Available now at local hobby shops, or I'm sure we'll be able to see you and Prince Pretty himself, Tyler Breeze, ripping these packs on Fanatics Live.
Ooh.
Fanatics Live, that's what we do. Look, and the fervor for these Topps cards, incredible.
Incredible. Speaking of fervor, I feel like, it should be acknowledged. Not only did Dominic Mysterio retain his Intercontinental Championship tonight, but the fans, they loved it. They absolutely loved it. And I know you don't want them to love it. You don't want it to be true, but it's so true. You have ears, You have ears.
I do have ears. This man, you talk about over. This man is undeniably over, especially with this crowd in North Carolina tonight. Look, I think Dom is a massive star who continues to get better. He is so crafty, using the old Eddie tricks to beat Rusev. Look, against a guy with that much power, that much athleticism, that much strength in Rusev, and you look at Dom, no offense to him, but trying to go toe-to-toe with a guy like Rusev is a mistake if you're Dom. You need to pull out the tricks. You need to use your wrestling IQ, and that's what he did tonight. Dom continues to impress me. Look, I will never take anything away from this man's star power, from his ability. It's the means in which he does things. I like to see him do things the right way. But hey, In the world of professional wrestling, if it gets it done, it gets it done. The ref didn't catch him. He ended up leaving with his title. I would like to think that Rusev will not just leave it here, that, a shot to the groin and like, okay, you got me, and that's it. I'd like to think we're going to see more of Rusev. I don't think this is over, but Dominic Mysterio is clearly a star. I believe he's still under 30 years of age. It's really incredible. I look back to this man's rise, and I'm blown away every time I see him. He oozes star power. He oozes charisma. Every time we have him on Fanatics Live, he's a show stealer. It's undeniable.
I cannot get over his move to try and trick Eddie Orango with the mega championship.
Dude, I have seen the Eddie spot. I feel like the Eddie spot is the Eddie spot. It's where, you throw the belt to your opponent and then you lay down on the mat. And I feel like Eddie did it, and it was like the most brilliant thing. And then the first tribute to Eddie, you're like, oh, that's super fun. And then the second tribute, you're like, oh, I get it. And then the more you see it, you're like, okay, all right, I've seen the Eddie spot. The twist on it on Raw, where the referee was like, I just saw you do that. Like, what are you doing? I was like, that's fantastic.
We got smart referees. Shout out to Eddie for being a smart referee. I'm glad we got some smart referees now. But look, and I would say I'm with you too. I love the Eddie spot, but it can lose its appeal if you see it over and over again. I think it's Dominic's spot now. I think Dominic has the right to the Eddie spot. Everyone else has to leave it alone. It's Dom's exclusively. He's owned it. He's been killing it. It's his.
And it's in his genetics.
Well,
it is.
It's genetics. It is genetics.
Arguably, yes.
Look, you can win custody on ladder matches all day long. That's not going to change genetics. Okay?
There is a family resemblance that is kind of undeniable.
I think so too. And Dominic's ability, Dominic's ability to, in the moment, to kind of improvise. Like, we've seen low blows before and groin shots before, and you can discredit them, Big E, and that's fine. But Dom's ability to go like, okay, fine, you caught that one, but now I got another one and another one. Like, this guy, the tricks are endless. And let's be honest, it would be there. You will never find a person who has any sort of knowledge of this pro wrestling thing that would ever say anything bad about Eddie Guerrero's tactics. And I mean, all he did was lie, cheat, and steal. WrestleMania 20 was incredible. What did he do? He loosened his boot. Because he's Eddie. Hey, I lied. Come on.
You're right. There's a certain lovability about Dom, even when you don't want to. It's the smirk. It's the way he's able to. It's the greasy hair. It's all of it. He's found something, and he's continuing to grow. Even just his in-ring ability, I think, has really grown over the last couple years as well. He's someone who I think will carry the company for many years to come. If he wants to, he's probably got another 15 years in him if he wants to, maybe more, which is truly incredible to see. This man, I would not have said the thought of putting the label future world champion on Dominic Mysterio 3 years ago, 4 years ago, laughable. I'd laugh you out the building. But now, is this outside of the realm of possibility? Not at all. In fact, I would be surprised if Dominic Mysterio doesn't hold a world championship within the next 5 years.
A world championship in the WWE? Because, I mean, you could argue the Super Mega Championship is a world championship.
Sure, yes. Within the WWE, yes, that he would be a world champion, yes.
I mean, I think we all kind of forget that Dominic has only been a professional wrestler for, 5 years? 6?
I think about 5 years. I think the pandemic, 5, 6 years, yeah. Which, in the scheme of things, I think there are a lot of people who pick things up very quickly. But 5 years, 6 years of being, that's not a long time,
No.
He's just going to continue to get better and better.
Speaking of luchadors, how do we feel? We met the whole Grande family this week on Raw and really saw that. I mean, it wasn't just because they've been saying incorrectly, by the way, that it was just 3 Grande Americanos, but it's Bravo. It's Grande or Bravo Americano.
Bravo?
Yeah, Bravo Americano and Rayo Americano and Grande Americano.
Right. There's a whole family now.
Yes, we had Bravo. Well, I think they've been, these are classically trained luchadors that have been part of wrestling history for a very, very long time. But we did, I mean, I am glad that AJ Styles is going in, getting closer and closer to Crown Jewel with some victories under his belt. But I thought still a good in-ring WWE debut for Bravo and Rayo Americano.
I mean, that's a lot of pressure to make your debut with AJ Styles.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah. I would put him, I think a lot of people would put AJ on their Mount Rushmore of in-ring workers. I mean, one of the best to ever do it. Truly incredible. And I will say as a quick aside, I'm so excited that we are getting this AJ and Cena match.
That's what I was going to ask
when
you.
I think of Cena's greatest rivals over the last 10 years, the beat up John Cena stuff, the stuff with the club was so incredible. And those two put on classics. So Perth is going to be blessed by this one. I think we're going to see, as far as, work rate, in-ring ability, I think this might be the best version of John Cena that we see on this entire run. Truly, truly excited for this. But as far as the tag match is concerned that we saw on Raw, look, I think our new budding luchadors, who I choose to not believe that they are seasoned luchadors who've been doing this for a long time. One, I think they're a little pale. They're a little. They look like they haven't spent too much time in Mexico. Is my point. That Mexican sun, it'll beat on you now. It'll beat on you.
They've been over here in WWE. The tans just probably went away.
And they spend so much time training in the wrestling ring, they wouldn't have any time.
Yeah, all our arenas are closed.
Yeah.
They don't spend any time outside. No beach time at all, eh? Okay.
No.
They're focused on mastering the craft.
Of lucha.
Yeah.
Of the dark arts of lucha.
Right.
But you go ahead.
I was going to say, a very, very, very solid start for those two. Also, again, as someone who's been beating the drum for Dragon Lee, I'm very excited that we're getting more Dragon Lee on our screens. I love this impromptu pairing of Dragon Lee and AJ Styles as well, both very, very talented. So I think we got, just from an in-ring perspective, a lot of great action. I'm intrigued to see where this luchador trio goes. It's interesting. I don't know what to make of these two. I wonder who they are. I don't know. I will say, I've seen some people texted me about the whole quote about bodies and locker rooms and naked men. I will say I might need to relax with a lot of that. I don't recognize these bodies. I can't claim that I've seen them nude. Okay, so I will stop there.
You know who those bodies are, but you can't admit it anymore. You know who the bodies are.
I don't want any part of it. I'm done with it. I'm done with the new locker room talk. It's got out of hand.
Just getting texts that say, "Chill, man. Just chill."
Exactly.
Just chill. No, by the way, speaking of the AJ Styles John Cena match next week, we will have a preview pod, a bonus pod preview before Perth, just a few days before Perth. But yeah, I was going to ask you about that anyway. I mean, I was so excited over the week to see this match, and it came like a couple of tweets from John Cena, a couple of tweets from AJ Styles. The Twitterverse does what the Twitterverse does, and Triple H responds by making the match official. And I think that you're right. I think when people look at John Cena's like rivals and they bring up, Randy Orton, or they bring up Edge, or they even bring up CM Punk, I think it might be my favorite John Cena match. And one of the most important John Cena matches is the John Cena AJ Styles in ring, because to me, it came at this perfect time where like John Cena was just starting to get to a point in his career where it's like, yeah, I do the 5 moves of doom, but you guys don't understand that I'm actually really, really good at this. And AJ Styles was like, yeah, I know that I can do all the moves, but you guys don't understand that I'm fully capable of being a WWE superstar as well. And I felt like when this rivalry first happened, that's what you got out of both of them. Like they both got to be their absolute best. And the fact that gets run back in Perth now at a time where it's like, on one end, you just saw that promo a couple weeks ago AJ Styles did on YouTube, where it's like clearly AJ Styles feels like the best of AJ Styles isn't being seen right now. And John Cena, I think that a fire was lit under him by the fact that maybe he wasn't doing his best matches in the first half of this return year. And so that's why this second half has been just, fire, 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 fire. And I feel like what you've got is John Cena and AJ Styles knowing they got one more time to do it and wanting to show the world that at this phase in their career, they can still outwork the entire locker room.
Absolutely. And AJ has also alluded to the fact in interviews that I've read that 2026 is his last year as well. So, like, soak this up, man. If you're a fan of our industry, if you're a fan of these two, soak it up, because it's not just Cena who has very limited dates left. It's also AJ. And look, to your point, I'm so glad you revisited their earlier rivalry. When AJ Styles first came up, it's so interesting to hear at the Rumble, he kind of hesitance. He didn't really know how fans would take to him. And it's like, man, you're AJ Styles. Of course people are going to lose their minds for you. But just knowing, coming from someone who is a long-time stalwart of TNA, someone who really cut his teeth there for so long, he didn't know how these main roster WWE crowds would take to him. And I think the rivalry with Cena really solidified him as not just a guy, because you always wonder, especially around that time, is someone coming from TNA, are they just coming to kind of be one of the guys? Is he just going to have a few fun matches and kind of disappear? How is he going to be presented? How is he going to come out the gate? And seeing AJ Styles in a feud, in an incredible feud with arguably the greatest of all time, winning world championships, it really said, okay, AJ Styles is not just some act from TNA that we brought along to be another guy on the roster. AJ Styles is a top guy. AJ Styles is a main eventer. AJ Styles is a future WWE Hall of Famer as well. So I really loved, especially as someone who was so excited about what was going on SmackDown at the time, and then eventually getting to come over to SmackDown, because SmackDown was really hot at the time. And I remember at the time, like, we were doing separately branded PLEs as well, or pay-per-views at the time. And it was really a showcase of SmackDown was like this, try hard. We're going to show you we might not be the flagship that Raw is, but we have a chip on our shoulder. And I think that Styles and Cena were such a huge part of that era of SmackDown, and what made it so great, and put on so many incredible matches. And to your point as well, getting to see AJ be comedic, getting to see him be funny, to cut great promos as well, to truly be a well-rounded performer. We already know he can get it done between the ropes. Like, that was already a given. But to see him be able to kind of have this style of the WWE style of entertainment and promos and connectivity as a character with the audience as well, I think really demonstrated how great he is in all facets of this industry. This feels like such a great way to highlight Cena's last few dates. I'm so glad that we didn't come to the end of this retirement tour and not get this match.
Same. And I can't wait to break down with you when we do the Crown Jewel preview show next week. But before we continue on with Raw, I want to tell you about Fanatics One. Megan adores Fanatics
Love
One.
it.
Yes. For all you give to the game, now there's a loyalty program that gives back to you, because being a fan deserves to be rewarded. Only Fanatics One members earn fan cash and all that comes with it: exclusive apparel, iconic experiences, and rewards tailored to your fandom better than anyone else in the game. Join now on the Fanatics app and enjoy member benefits from day one: free shipping and returns, exclusive access to product drops, and the ability to earn and redeem fan cash whenever you shop and play with Fanatics. Join Fanatics One right now on the Fanatics app. It's a no-brainer. Now, I want to talk about, there were a couple of things tonight that lead directly to what we're going to see next week. First of all, we've got Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez. And I've got to tell you, this comes off of the Bayley Raquel match that we saw this week. Last week we saw the Roxanne match with Bayley, and the idea that last week Bayley starts as the hugger and ends as this as the villain, and this week I felt like she started as like hugger adjacent and ended as Ding Dong Bayley, except it was Ding Dong Bayley who was friends with Lyra. And listen, this is where I stand on the matter. Okay, when Lyra was like, I am not coming to the ring. I want nothing to do with you. I'm not going to help you. And Bayley loses. I go, Good for Lyra. For my thing with like crazy is keep it away from me. I don't need it infecting my life. I don't need that energy around me. And then when Bayley's getting the beat down and Lyra comes out, I'm like, no, I'm Walter White in the car yelling at Hank. No, don't go. And Lyra's out there and now she's completely mixed up in all this business again.
I sort of feel bad for Lyra.
How could you? She's doing it.
Entire thing because. You know, Lyra said to Bayley months ago, stay the hell away from me.
She said it.
Bayley really went off the deep end. And Lyra, it seems like, felt a little bit responsible for everything that Bayley was going through. And then, you know, we saw the vignettes. We saw all of Bayley dealing with her different identities. And then finally, Bayley is back on Raw. And Lyra's there to apologize, and she keeps getting sucked back in.
No, like just stop.
So you don't feel bad for Lyra at all?
No, stop. Just stop. You got to stop. Leave it alone.
She's a good-hearted person.
I know.
She's such a
She
sweet
is.
soul. She wants to do the right thing. And look, I think I don't know to what degree. Obviously, her connection with Becky has been talked about, both Irish women. But look, the four horsewomen were so instrumental in changing the face of women's wrestling. For her to have this deep level of respect for Bayley, that wouldn't shock me at all. Like she is a legend in and of herself. Bayley is someone who changed the game, and to feel like you owe this woman who has made attempts to be your friend, who has come out to save you before, to feel some kind of debt or gratitude. I'm not sure where it comes from. I think you're right, Sam. I think it's probably best just to stay away. But she keeps getting sucked into the Bayley vortex. Bayley wears the Lyra shirt as well. I'm sure that ingratiated her to Lyra a bit. Lyra is someone who's very, very talented, and it's hard not to get sucked up into Bayley. Look, if you ever have spent any one-on-one time with Bayley, she is one of the most charismatic, warm. She has a way of sucking you in, all right? It's very hard to say, no, stay away from me, from that woman. She's so likable. And I think although Lyra is trying to figure out which personality is coming at her, which old Bayley identity is it going to be now, I think under it all, there is still that same Bayley likability, and it's hard not to get pulled into that.
Don't forget, Lyra is kind of at a crossroads herself because she can't challenge for the Intercontinental title.
They don't challenge for it.
Becky holds it, so she sees someone like Bayley
stop
around.
it. I think I read something like this in the Odyssey. Like, this is not the path. This is clearly not the path, but yet this is the path that she's on. Speaking of Becky Lynch, she punches Akira Tozawa in the throat tonight, and now we got a match next week, Maxine versus Becky Lynch. Yeah, I mean...
Poor Tozawa, for one.
Right,
Poor
yes.
Tozawa.
Yes.
What an incredible performer. He just gets bullied all the time. But look, Maxine is someone who has really gained the respect of our audience, and from all accounts, an incredibly hard worker. Obviously, not in the tier of top women in WWE as far as in-ring ability, but mind you, the pool of talent is so deep right now. But Maxine endears herself to fans and to the rest of the locker room because she's such a hard worker. She's so respectful. She wants to get better. You see her. I think every time we see her in the ring, I see an improved version of Maxine. So look, do I expect her to beat Becky? No. But do I expect her to give Becky a fight? Hell yeah. And that's what I'm excited to see next week.
And of course, CM Punk returns to Monday Night Raw, and I'm so curious with everything else going on. The Tribal Chief is back over here with the Usos. Seth Rollins is worried about Cody Rhodes. I am so interested to see where CM Punk fits in with all of it, and we'll be here. We'll be here to recap it all after next week's Monday Night Raw. Big E, always a pleasure. You are the best. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast everywhere you get audio. Leave comments and hit like on YouTube. And we will see you next week right here on the Raw Recap.